But okay. At this time, I'd like to call to order the June 22nd, 2017 meeting of the City Council. Do we need to do roll call? I would imagine.
You want to do Pledge of Allegiance first?
We could do that, yes.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. Roll call, Albertson. Here. Bueller.
Here.
Danforth.
Here.
Manti, absent. Riefenberger, absent. Roby.
Here.
Solom, absent. Thorson.
Here.
Tupper.
Here.
Vilhauer.
Here.
There is a quorum. Thank you.
Thanks, Shelley. First of all, I'd like to entertain a motion for approval of the agenda.
Second.
Motion by Mike, second by Randy. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed, same sign. Okay.
Mr. President, I do want to bring up an item under old business, so when the time comes.
Okay, Shelley, if you'll note that, we'll try. Well, yeah, thank you. First of all, the next step on our agenda is the canvass results of the city election held on June 20th. Shelley, did you want to speak to the mayor's portion of that?
Yep, I can do that. Just overall, as everybody knows, there was an election that was held Tuesday, June 20th for the mayor's position and 3 council positions. Everybody should have received a canvass results from that election. The process has changed a bit from in years past. We got a request from the Secretary of State's office. They feel that incumbents voting on their own race creates a conflict of interest. So where we used to just do 1 canvass, there's going to be 3 because we do have 2 incumbents. So we will have 3 motions. We'll approve these separately. If you are the incumbent of that race, please just recuse yourself at the beginning of it before, and then don't sign the sheets that get passed around for the official canvassing. And then for Ward D, we did not have anybody. We have an ordinance that states we have to have a majority, which would be 50% plus 1 vote. We did not get that in Ward D, so when we canvass the votes, we will also need to set the secondary or what we call runoff election for July 11th, and that will also be at the school. So that's the one we'll need to not only canvass, but we'll have to set the secondary election. So I'll pass it back over to you.
What I'd like to do first, then, I guess, is to entertain a motion to certify the mayor's election. I do have a sheet that we do all need to sign, and I'll pass that around, and that goes for all 3 motions that we'll have to make.
Right. Yep.
For the 2 wards as well. So.
Yep. So it'll be the mayor and Ward B would be the first motion.
Right. So at this point in time, I think I'd entertain a motion to certify the election results for the mayor's race.
So moved.
I have a motion by Glenn, a second by Dan. Any discussion? Those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Okay, motion carries. I'll pass this down. We'll have to move that around so everybody gets an opportunity to sign that. Then I'd entertain a second motion for the canvass of the votes for the Ward D election. And I believe in this one, Randy, you will probably want to recuse yourself. This is D, yeah, as in dog. Yes. Entertain a motion for approval of those results. A motion by Mike, second by Mr. Thorson. Any other discussion? Those in favor say aye. 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 Those opposed, same sign. That motion carries. And last, we have in Dan, this one you would obviously have to would want to recuse yourself from. This is the results from Ward E. I would entertain a motion for approval of those results. Motion by Mike, second by Randy. Additional discussion? Those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed, same sign. And I'll pass these all down for everyone to sign, except for the folks that are involved in that ward probably do not need to sign that.
Yep. And just for informational purposes, if you look at your grand totals, the bond issue is there, but it is not reflected in any of our canvassing per the Secretary of State. Since that is a county issue, it was up to them to canvass the results of that, so it will not be reflected on any of our canvassing sheets. So just in case anybody wonders, we didn't forget it. It was not our obligation to do that. So that was done, I think, yesterday at the county.
Thanks, Shelley. Anything for old business?
Yes, Mr. President or Acting Mayor, whatever your title is today.
You can call me Bruce.
Okay. I want to preface my comments by saying, first of all, I don't think we could have found a better ambassador for our city the last 4 years than Mayor Thorson. So involved in so many things in promoting Watertown. And I appreciate the spirit that the fireworks decision was made in by the proclamation that was given yesterday by the mayor. But I have got concerns about it. Whether or not we can do anything about it, but I do want to express concerns because I've already heard from some constituents, I've heard from our police and fire department, the concern of stretching that from July 1st through July 4th and the problems that might entail. I've been going back and forth with our city attorney this morning. I understand that at this juncture there's nothing that we can do. This was not the way it was supposed to play out from our council meeting, but now it was my understanding that it was going to be brought to us for a discussion today with the thought of expanding it to the 3rd and the 4th, and now the proclamation was issued yesterday going from the 1st through the 4th with no further input from this body. So having said that, I'm not sure what further discussion or what we can do, but I do want to express my concerns because I'm hearing it from people from the area that I represent, and I'm sure there's going to be more between now and the time this plays out.
Justin, so if that proclamation is given, there is no recourse on that to change that?
At this point, it would be, I wouldn't say 100% impossible, but the legal case to make would be difficult. As you know, Revised Ordinance Section 130303 authorizes the mayor by order or proclamation to adopt exceptions to the otherwise blanket prohibition on the shooting of fireworks outside of the area annexed to the city by Resolution Y 1832 and on July 4th, as well as that time frame before New Year's that you find in ordinance. So the city council has, by ordinance, vested the mayor with the discretion that he exercised. Now, the discretion he exercised was as a proclamation, and in theory it would be possible to override a proclamation with a city council resolution. The problem is the time frames don't necessarily work in your favor with that. There would need to be some kind of emergency clause tacked onto it, and those are only used in the most extreme of circumstances.
Justin, would you just give us a little more background, a proclamation, when to use, when not to use?
Sure.
Because I think it's the first time I've come across this where it's been a proclamation, so kind of new ground for me.
Well, and the fact of the matter is, Councilman, the concept of a proclamation isn't really all that well defined in state law, and that's because of the essence of a proclamation. It's very basic. It is effectively an official statement by an officer that carries with it the force of law. Now, that force of law is generally provided by statute or ordinance that's provided by, or in some cases, the Constitution. You see proclamations authorized for executives like the governor, like the mayor, in times of civil insurrection, emergencies, those sorts of things, when the need to act is immediate and the ability of a deliberative body to be able to act in a timely fashion just can't occur. In this circumstance, as we pointed out a few times with regard to contracts, the city council is authorized to imbue some of its authority in city officers. And in this case, that's effectively what the city council did. The regulation of fireworks is a police power, and the city council back, this was revised in 2004. At least then it was addressed back in 2004 that this is something we want to provide to the mayor, provide that authority to the mayor and allow him to or her to either order or proclaim an exception. My understanding is that in the past, this is just my understanding secondhand, that this authority has arisen or has been utilized through a permitting process. So if individuals sought to have a pyrotechnics display and it didn't otherwise violate state law, that we could permit that, and they went through the process that way. But there's nothing, again, we're given the plain language of 130303, and it provides the mayor may, by order of proclamation, have an exception entered.
So as I understand it, short of the mayor issuing a proclamation rescinding the first proclamation, which would just cause all sorts of confusion, where there's nothing that can be done at this point, is what I'm understanding.
At this point, without us running into issues with our open meetings laws, and without having to address the issue of whether or not curtailing the proclamation is worthy of an emergency clause.
And it has, it has been publicized fairly heavily to this point, so I guess my thoughts are we probably need to adhere to the proclamation for at least this year.
Yeah, and just ask that the public use some prudent discretion out there, which is easier said than done, but beyond that, I guess I agree, Bruce.
Any other discussion in that regard?
My only discussion would be, I understood it, we were talking about the 3rd and 4th that night, and so I had sent back a couple of email messages, people saying, no, it was the 3rd and the 4th. They had knowledge of the proclamation before I did, I guess, so.
Well,
So
Dan, I heard it on the radio.
Okay.
So that's when I found out about
So
it.
I thought we were discussing it today,
Yeah.
so.
Yep.
So anyway, I guess there's not.
Okay, anything else for old business? Any new business? We need a motion, do we not, Shelley, to set the date for the secondary election? Is that correct?
Yeah, it's in. We could assume that when you canvass that Ward D, but if you want to officially set that secondary election, per state statute, we have up to 3 weeks, and I figured nobody wanted to come vote on the 4th of July, and we don't have ballots soon enough for a week. That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
So July 11th is the next available date that we would have, and it has to be on a Tuesday within 3 weeks. So,
Do we need a motion for that, Shelley, for that date or not? To set that date? I apparently stumped you. I stumped you.
yeah,
Yeah,
I guess when you
We just
kind
want
of-
to we just want to be
I know
legit.
by canvassing it, you really don't have a choice. I've set the date because it's what we have to do.
Then let's move on, shall
Yeah,
we?
yeah,
All right.
you're good.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. Any additional any old business?
I'd like to exercise about 15 seconds of personal privilege I have. My wife, Darla, and our 2 of our grandchildren, Shayla and Desmond, taking in the exciting proceedings in the audience there.
Awesome.
Hope you're taking them all out to lunch.
I am.
All righty then. Moving on to number 4, any new business? Anything for new business? Okay. Any need to go into executive session? All right, then I would entertain a motion for adjournment. A motion by Randy, second by Don. Those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed? Thank you very much.